Hey everyone, it's Natalie. So today I'm going to do a video request, and that is our good friend Aaron brings up a very good point, is you can't stay quiet when a narcissist is crossing your boundary. And when I do say staying cool, collective, quiet, and having composure, it's not allowing these people to cross your boundaries. What I mean is don't step out of character and react negatively to their boundary crossing or whatever the situation is you want to stay cool, collective, and quiet in the sense that you are not attacking them, you are not stepping out of character and portraying yourself as a rude, insecure person to them, because that's what they are to you. So in the way that I mentioned the cool, collective, and quiet is just not reacting to them in a negative way. But like Aaron brings up, you can't stay quiet when they're crossing boundaries. So she, and I'm sure a lot of other people, would like phrases that you can use to disarm the narcissist, to kind of put them in their place without stepping out of character, without reacting negatively. So number one, the best policy when an argument with a narc begins is to stay calm and composed. You can use I sentences. I feel this way. I see it that way. The things narcs say in an argument can scramble your rational brain. It can leave you confused, upset, and disrupt your whole energy as a person. Always remember that the narc wants to make you struggle. They want you to struggle emotionally, psychologically, and you have to if you are struggling, you don't want to show them that you are, because they love drama and they love to watch you get hot and bothered. It gives them a type of pleasure called narcissistic supply. So when I do say staying calm, collective, and quiet, it is the main purpose of that is not to give them the narcissistic supply they are looking for. Also remember, every time an argument begins, it is actually scheduled. Not only arguments, but boundary crossings. Every time a narc crosses a boundary, they know they're going to cross it before they do it. The thing is, they don't care how you feel about them crossing that boundary. Narcs are evil and mean and manipulative. They have zero empathy, but require it from you. Narcs are incapable of feeling sorry for you or caring about your boundary. They literally cannot see beyond their own selfish needs and wants. So, a few things. First off, maintain your composure. Don't step out of character. Don't feed them any information that they will use as ammunition in the future. Because let me tell you, it's not an argument with a narc. The narc is fishing for narcissistic supply. So be cool, collective, and calm. So let's get to all the ones I wrote. What does success over a narc look like? You leave with your head screwed on right, held high. You don't spill any secrets that they will hoard and use later to sabotage you or stab you in the back. You maintain your own interpersonal peace, which, like I said, staying cool, collective, calm, and staying in character. Don't show them that you're angry or frustrated with a situation. It takes a bit of getting used to, but you will really feel the benefit of these phrases that I am about to tell you. Number one, I am sorry you feel that way. Number two, I just want you to know how I feel. Number three, you're allowed to feel that way, but I'm allowed to feel this way too. 4. I hear what you're saying. 5. You are certainly entitled to your opinion. 6. If I need advice, I will ask. 7. Use we phrases. Example, we need to work together. Or you could even use a phrase of we, referring to your family, we need to discuss that before a decision is made. 8. I don't agree with you, but you have the right to your opinion, and I also have the right to mine. Or, you are entitled to your opinion as I am entitled to mine. This is kind of similar. 9. It's your opinion and is right to you, but I do not have the same opinion, and that's okay. 10. It's okay if we agree to disagree. 11. I am sorry that you feel that way, but I personally see it differently. 12. That's too bad we can't come to an agreement. 13. With all due respect, I am just going to walk away. 14. Please respect my boundaries or decisions. 15. If I need help, I will ask for it. 16. Thank you for your input, but I got this. 17. We, the family, are capable of making our own decisions, but thanks anyway. 18. My family makes those types of decisions. 19. I will have to ask my spouse. All right, 20. Simply leave the conversation calmly. So if they're doing something you don't like, you can just walk away. You have that right to walk away as a person if you don't agree. It might seem a little rude, but as a human being, if you don't like something someone is doing, then just walk away from it. If you feel yourself getting angry, just walk away. 21. Smile and say, I'm sorry you see it that way, and just nod your head. I'm sorry you see that way. And then you can walk away too. If you want to say that phrase and walk away, that's fine. 22. We decided to, you decided to whatever it was, blank. We decided to blank. So we decided to do it this way. We made our decision on this. 23. I need some personal space. Do you mind giving me some personal space at the moment? 24. Do you need some time to yourself? Because I feel like you might need a little bit of time. 25. Do you need space from me or the situation? And just say it very calmly like that. If you see that, if they cross a boundary and then you put them in their place, you see they're getting upset, you just simply say, do you need some time for yourself? Do you need some space from the situation? Because I feel like you do. 26. Is this a problem for you? And just say it like that. Is this a problem for you? Because it's not a problem for me. 27. I'm sorry, I didn't expect this from you. So if they're crossing boundaries, saying things you don't like, you just simply say, I'm sorry, I didn't expect this from you, for you to act this way or say those things. 28. I'm sorry, I didn't realize you are blaming me. Is there something I can do? 29. I feel you are overreacting. Do you need some time? 30. You can give them the silent treatment. 31. If you want to be, this is kind of like if you're trying to kind of be a smart ass, it's a joke. So 31 is, If you want to be if you want to be a smartass, you could say, "Why did you cross the road?" Ask them, "Why did you cross the road?" "You must have thought it was a boundary." Ha ha. You could say something like that if you want to be a smartass and kind of show them like I'm not putting up with this, 32. "I am sorry, but I don't believe you, or I don't believe that. I'm sorry. I don't." 33. "I'm sorry, but I just don't trust that. I honestly don't trust that, and that's my belief." 34. "I am not impressed with your actions. I am not impressed with the situation. There's got to be, something else we can work out or agree with. Like, I'm not very impressed with what you're doing." It could be, "I'm not very impressed with blank," you can say to them. Number 35, and this hits a nerve with them. "I disagree with you." 36. "I was hurt when you said blank." Blank could be, "I was hurt when you said I make too many mistakes." "I was hurt when you said I was a bad parent." "I was hurt when you said my food was gross." "I was hurt you said my house is not clean." "I was hurt when you said I should be home with the children instead of working, helping provide for the family." And that's the thing, because that happened to me with my narcissist, and that when I wanted to go back to work, she put me down for wanting to help provide for my family instead of sitting at home like she did and still continues to do even without children, taking care of her children while only one parent works. And you know what? That's okay. If you can stay at home with your children, go for it. But if you see that your spouse is struggling, you really should be helping your spouse. But the thing is, with the narcissist, because they're entitled and they think they can rule your life, they will tell mothers and fathers, like, "Oh, well, both parents are going to be working? I don't find that appropriate." And it's really hurtful, because you as a parent, you would love to stay home with your children, but sometimes financially you just can't. 36. "I felt betrayed when I heard that you talked behind my back." I felt betrayed. And say it nicely. You can straight up, in a way, confront them, not in a confrontational manner, hostile, but you can say, "I heard that you said this, and I really don't appreciate when you're saying bad things about me to other people. Do you mind not saying things like that? Thanks." 38. "I became confused and lost focus when you interrupted me." 39. Or you can say, "I became confused and hurt when you crossed the boundary that I set." Number 39. "I am surprised you jumped in before I had time to finish." 40. "I get frustrated every time blank. I get frustrated every time you do something that I don't like. I get frustrated every time you're telling my husband things that I don't agree with. I get frustrated every time you are trying to make decisions about my children. I get frustrated every time that you try to make decisions about my relationship." Big thing, and I think I already said this, is use I phrases. When you use I phrases instead of you phrases, it de-escalates the situation, because when you use you phrases, it's more like you're blaming someone. But if you can use I phrases, like, "I don't like when you do that. I'm sorry, but this is not appropriate. I'm sorry, but I feel like you crossed a boundary." Just whatever I phrase you need to use it. Just don't go out pointing, saying you, because then because the narcissist wants you to do that and be in attack mode so they can play the victim, you really shouldn't be doing that, because you don't want the narcissist to be able to play the victim because you're acting hostile or blaming them. You just want to make sure that you're saying it from your point of view. And I don't appreciate when you do this, and I would appreciate if you didn't do it. 41, you can say, I see where you are coming from, but blank, whatever you need to say. I see where you're coming from, but I don't agree. I see where you're coming from, but this is my decision. This is my family. 42, I understand the situation from your viewpoint, but blank. I understand the situation from your viewpoint, but I have my own viewpoint, and because this is my decision, I'm going to credit my viewpoint. Let's see. What was that? 42? Let's see. Well, maybe that was it. Let me see. There's, there are a lot more. These, I didn't want this video to be like so long. So, but you look, this is the thing. I don't need this paper to really tell you anything. I just wrote it down because it is a lot of phrases. But so when a narcissist is crossing your boundary and you need to lay the law down, come at the situation very calmly, because you don't want to feed their ego by being upset. And the other thing is, when you have to lay these boundaries down, you're not responsible for their emotions. So who cares what they think when you lay down these boundaries, because they're your boundaries. So don't hesitate to lay them down and tell them, like, look, this is the way it is. You don't like it. I'm sorry that you feel that way. Don't sink to their level. And because we do kind of care what the narcissist thinks about us. Who cares? When you're laying down your boundaries and the law of the land, you don't have to accept their wrong perception of you. So because you're laying these boundaries down, at the same time, you're like, well, I don't really want them to perceive me as a certain way. Who cares? Who cares how they perceive you? You lay down the boundaries, the law, and you say whatever phrases you need to say, but in a calm, collective manner to get the point across. You don't want to sink to their level. So if they're crossing boundaries, you're calling them out, and then they start getting ugly or playing the victim. Don't sink to their level by going back and retaliating with something nasty to say. If they want to get nasty, walk away. Who cares? You laid down the law. This is the way it's going to be. You want to say whatever the narcissist wants to say. Who cares? Walk away. You don't have to hear it. You blatantly lay the boundaries down, the law down. And if they want to say something after, you can just say, well, I'm really sorry you feel that way. Oh, a good, let's see. Well, let me see. What else do I have? Oh, and a lot of times, like when something, and it kind of has to do with boundaries and it doesn't, but you don't want to feed the narcissist any more information, because they'll use it as ammunition against you. So if you're laying boundaries down, you don't have to explain why. Because sometimes when you explain why there's a boundary, what they'll do is they take that information and later on use it against you. Remember, everything you say to the narcissist, they try to use against you. So when you're laying these boundaries down, be very cut and dry with them. You don't have to do explaining of why you're laying this boundary down, because trust me, the narcissist knows why you're laying that boundary down. Even though they act ignorant or act like a victim when you're laying these boundaries down, they know why. They know they cross these boundaries. They do it because they don't care. They're entitled, selfish people. They don't care what your boundary is. That's why when they are crossing it, you have to have consequences to these boundaries. You can use phrases, you can walk away, you can give them a timeout. You can say, okay, unfortunately, you crossed this boundary and and you can say this, we're going to give you a timeout for a week, a month. And, once, the consequence is over, we'll allow you back in our life and see if maybe you can respect those boundaries that you crossed. I mean, literally, you have to treat them like a child and give them time out. Because if not, they're just going to keep doing it. If they cross the boundary, they see that you don't like it, and there's no repercussions from them crossing those boundaries, no consequences of their actions. They're just going to keep doing it. And that's why I find giving them a timeout, which means the silent treatment, which means no phone calls, no texts, the children not seeing them, you're not seeing them, your husband's not seeing them, your wife's not seeing them. They are on a timeout in the corner where no one talks to them, no one sees them, and they stay there until you feel like they've learned their lesson, even though who knows if they really do or not, or until you feel like you've gotten your point across. Yeah, I think I've said this. It's not an argument with it's not an argument with a narc. When a narc starts an argument with you because they cross the boundary or just because they're entitled, they're fishing for narcissistic supply. This is where I say stay cool, calm, collective, and if you need to, quiet, because you don't want to give them what they come fishing for. You want to let them know, you come fishing here for narcissistic supply, I'm going to shut you down. That's when I'm saying staying quiet, that's what I mean when I say staying cool, collective, and quiet, is that you don't want to give them the supply they're looking for. You can never win an argument, because if you make a point they don't like, they play the victim. So, and it's true, like, the narcissist is a professional arguer. They are entitled. Anyone that's dealt with entitled people know entitled people think they're always right. So you get in an argument with the narcissist, you're not really going to win the argument. But because you have a shed full of tools, like these phrases, like walking away, putting them in timeout, things like that, you have a way of shutting them down as people, shutting that argument down without having to actually physically argue with them back. Yeah, maybe they think they won the argument, but in the long term of everything, you've won. Like, they won the battle, but you're winning the war by having these tools that you can use against them, because they're not expecting you to say phrases like this. Usually what it is that you expect them to say phrases like that. And so you're kind of going to flip the coin and in a way do exactly what they do to you. And that is say these smart ass phrases, give them boundaries, because we know even though narcissists cross our boundaries, narcissists set boundaries of their own, and if you cross those boundaries, it's a problem, right? So you want to make sure that you're letting the narcissist know, I'm not going to allow you to manipulate me in this situation. Excuse me. Sorry, my son. I'm not going to allow you to manipulate me in this situation. I don't care if you think you won the argument. I don't care whatever the situation is. This is the way it is. If you don't like it, then you can go on a timeout, or you can think whatever you want to think. And I'm going to say, I'm sorry you feel that way, but I see it differently. I'm going to walk away with my head held high. I'm going to have my dignity and character intact. I'm not going to allow these people in their arguments, in their boundary crossings, to have me step out from character. And when I know I say that a lot, but because you are a good person, especially compared to a narcissist, you don't want to sink to their level of being narcissistic in your own way, or even by being negative in the way they're negative, because misery loves company. So the narcissist is negative and they, react and everything. Well, they're trying to push you over the edge to get you to react negatively. And because they know they can get this reaction out of you, they know and schedule the time and day that they're going to get the supply they need to survive. Because that's what all of this is about, is they are pushing your buttons and aggravating you and irritating you to get a reaction out of you. So when you have to lay these boundaries down, and let's say they come back with an argument of why they crossed this boundary or why they're doing this and that, you just simply, very calmly, and you can say it with a smile on your face, I'm really sorry you feel that way, but I see it differently, or any of the phrases that I just used. And, I probably should write a paper on this and publish it for you guys to kind of follow guidelines, but maybe you can just rewind on the video and kind of write some of these phrases down. But, you just want to make sure that when you're dealing with them and laying these boundaries down, don't come with aggression. Come as a adult and lay these boundaries down and tell them that, unfortunately, if you cross these boundaries, there'll be consequences. We will be giving you a timeout. You can use the phrases, things like that. So basically, that's the video. I hope Aaron liked it. If I didn't touch on something, Aaron, that, I should have touched on, please leave a comment. I would be happy to do another video for you. But anyways, I had a lot more written down, but this is almost 30 minutes, guys. So peace, love, and harmony. See you guys later. Bye.